completed, I believe, a successful prospecting slash marketing strategy. So let's talk about it, right? Um, let's spend a little bit of time just kind of hashing out what we did, what we went through, talk about the experience, and then we're going to look through the results that we got, so we know what our next steps need to be. All right.
Okay.
So why don't we first start with going through exactly what we did as far as the plan. What was the plan? What was the strategy? And how do we execute it?
The plan was to identify some apartments
Okay.
in the zip code around the office building
Right.
and market it to those residents to come to an event.
All
we're
right.
holding.
So what's the event?
So the event is the discussion.
The discussion. Okay.
A family meeting. We have to talk.
Okay. And those are the flyers that you're passing out?
Yes, these are the flyers. They came out really well.
All right.
Came out really well. So we went to the apartment. Well, first I went to apartment data, and it's really easy to put in the zip code, and tons of apartments came up.
So now, why did you decide to focus on apartments as far as promoting this event? Like, well, what is the event supposed to be about?
Okay, so the event itself is about debt elimination.
Okay.
Let's see, insurance, and of course, home buying.
All right, home buying process. All right.
Yes.
And then how long is the event gonna be?
The event is going to be approximately an hour to an hour and a half.
Okay.
Depending on questions.
All right. So you got this event. You're hosting it. When are you doing it?
March 21st.
All right.
1:30.
It's on the flyer. 1 o'clock.
Oh yes. Okay.
Right,
so
so
I don't need
starts
to
at
guess.
1, right. It
Yes.
starts at 1
It
o'clock.
starts at 1.
Saturday, March 21st.
Right.
All right. And it's an event about homeowner. You have elements of homeownership, insurance, and debt elimination.
Yes.
Right. And you're hosting it at the office here, right? At the
Yes,
facility.
here at the office.
Okay. So now, with that kind of event, why did you decide that's how you're going to market it?
Well,
with the apartments?
we had an extensive brainstorming session with two of our other collaborators.
Okay.
And we decided that apartments would give us our ideal client.
Okay.
Someone with kids.
All right. Kids.
Married.
All right.
And looking to buy a home.
Well, looking about where they're not homeowners, right?
Yes, so they're not homeowners.
All right.
So they're renting.
They're working.
Yes, they must have a job. So yes, they're working.
I think one of the criteria was within a 1 mile radius of the facility.
Yes, within a 1 mile radius, and we chose the zip code, but we had to narrow that down further.
Okay.
Once we went into, because there's tons and tons of apartments, and we
Right.
couldn't physically go to each apartment.
All right. So you funneled it down to how many apartments in the zip code?
We funneled it down to 20.
All right. So we picked. So now you got 20 apartments. You chose apartments as the area, one of the areas, or the first area to really push it. You felt like apartments would have given you the more bang for your buck when you listed all the other options. Is that?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
more bang for the buck.
Right.
It's a large group in one setting.
Yeah.
It outweighed the other ideas that.
So what was some of the other stuff that was on your list of ideas that you would utilize to market this to?
Schools was one, and I think
schools.
we may revisit schools.
Okay.
Let's see, Facebook ads.
Facebook, all right. Social media marketing, Facebook. All right.
Yes. Let's see, we had title companies.
All right. Utilizing title companies and other affiliates. I think that's the line you want to look at.
This one?
Yeah, that one right there.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mail outs.
All right. So sending mail outs to people, to the actual apartment.
To the
complexes
actual apartments,
was something to consider. Or was it mail outs to people in the 1 mile radius? I think it was people.
I think both, because one was like a shotgun, and we were saying, well, we don't know about these people, and one was a rifle, and we felt the apartments were the rifle.
Okay, perfect. So utilizing mail outs.
Yeah, mail outs. Let's see. Marriage licenses and public records.
Okay, was maybe
we was
trying
digging
to find
deep.
That.
Yes, trying to find the couples, the married people.
All right. What about email blasts and that kind of stuff? Is that on your list? Email blasts, flyers,
youth daycare, weddings, wedding planners,
so,
credit restoration.
Right, so all of those were people that were on your when you were brainstorming things to consider as a way to promote and market the event, right?
Yes.
So once that was done, you identified that apartments was the thing that had the most bang for buck when it came to time, when it came to resources. So that's how apartment got on the list.
Yeah.
All right. So now once y'all determined, all right, the apartments is the direction that we're going to go. What was the next step?
The next step was to determine when and how we were going to actually market to them.
So when and how? Because one of the things that was on the table, I think you said it earlier, was sending mail to the apartment residents, right?
Yes.
But that's not what you all decided to do.
No, we did not.
Okay. So walk me through that. Walk me through how you came up with how you were going to execute approaching these apartments. Because I would think a home buying, that's a conflict of interest, and they probably wouldn't let you in the door or whatever.
You would think that. Now apartments always have people leaving, so we kept that in mind. And when we got that objection, we would try to sneak that into whoever we were talking to.
So that wasn't enough to say, well, now we're not going to try.
Yeah, no, that wasn't enough. Because the reward is so big. You have such a large pool of people. You gotta try it.
So it was the best soil, I guess.
Yes.
So, okay, why not mail them something? Why not try to mail things to every single occupant?
Well, our event is on the 21st, so there's a time factor there, and there's a cost factor.
Okay.
So the cost with the amount of time, it just didn't add up. We were thinking we can just use our legs and go door to door and hand that out.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so talk to me about that.
Which became another issue we had to overcome. Most of the apartments have no solicitation procedures or conflicts or policies. Yes, that's the word I was looking for.
So when you all were brainstorming, that thought came up, well, we could just go in and knock on doors or put flyers on people's cars. But what kind of response did you get from that brainstorm of trying to approach it that way?
If they see you, they will tell you to leave.
Right.
If you
so you like sneaking.
Yes.
Right.
And you can't be your authentic self sneaking around. You need to be bold and go up to the people and knock on the door.
Absolutely.
So we couldn't do that.
But even that still wasn't enough to deter you from saying, this is the best soil, we got to figure out how to maximize from that, right?
Yes.
All right, so continue to talk me through what all you came up with.
Okay, so we came up with an idea of not coming empty-handed.
Okay.
So bring something to get something. So we wanted to get their solicitation policy.
So who's they? Bring something to who?
They are.
Them is.
Yeah. Them is. The leasing managers are the leasing professionals.
Okay.
Whoever was there, taking in leases when they come in, the gatekeepers.
Absolutely. All right, because I'm thinking the idea was if you go up to them and ask them, they're going to immediately say no.
Yes. Now, I was trying to think positive, so I wanted to give them something for seeing us.
Okay. So at least they'll hear you out.
Yeah, so they can hear us out.
All right.
So, I mean, if you come and bearing gifts, it puts a smile on people's face, kind of let their guard down a little bit.
Okay. So the thought was I'm going to go to the leasing agent or the property manager with something to at least get their audience so they'll pay attention. Now, whether they allow us to do it or not, at least we know that you're getting the full attention from them.
Right.
So what did you decide that you were going to bring with you?
Donuts.
Donuts, okay.
Yes, donuts.
All right, so bring in donuts.
Sealed donuts.
Sealed donuts, because we got this whole coronavirus thing going. All right.
So we brought sealed donuts, and it did make it a lot easier to go in, because we're not asking, hey, you guys. It's like, we got something for you.
Okay. So here's the strategy. So just so I'm clear on what your strategy was.
Mm-hmm.
You got some flyers, some little handouts printed out.
Right.
You identified 20 apartment complexes that are within, well, we know they're within a half a mile because they're in the same zip code as the facility.
Right.
You got you some donuts, and now you're finna go to all of these apartment complexes that you've identified, and you're gonna use it as a way to get their audience, as a way to ask them to market your event to their residents. That's
right.
the plan. All right.
That's the
So,
plan.
all right. So now that's the plan we just executed, right?
Right.
All right. So now let's talk about it. What kind of feedback? What kind of experience did you get?
Okay, so I've learned.
Well, just tell us about the experience. Like what did you do? Like, what did you say to the property managers? Like,
Okay.
yeah, what did you take with them? You took a half a dozen of donuts.
Yeah,
right,
half
to
a
each
dozen
one.
of donuts
All right.
sealed in a box with napkins
Okay.
and a smile.
And a smile. All right. So, what did you say to them?
Okay, I said, "Good morning. I'm Margaret, and this is so and so."
Just keep going.
Okay, and this is so
All
and so.
right.
And we. What did I say?
What did you say?
Hold on.
Uh-oh. Give her a moment. This is Margaret. This is so-and-so. Or Michael G. Davis. That's what she's wanting to say. I was with her.
Yeah.
All right. So this is Margaret. This is Michael G. Davis.
Oh, yes.
All
So
right.
I said, "We don't know your solicitation policy,
All right.
but we've come with donuts, so you would at least hear us out."
So you started it off with saying, look, y'all may have a policy that don't allow solicitation.
Yes.
You started it from the get-go.
Yes.
All right. So we don't know your solicitation policy, but here go these donuts, so at least you'll hear us out.
Yes.
All right. So then once you did that, what kind of response did you get from these people? Like, were they like, no, get out of here. It's a conflict. We don't got nothing. You're soliciting.
No.
What'd you get?
And I think the donuts helped. They was like, "Well, you brought donuts, so what do you have to say?"
Absolutely. So they felt good.
Yeah.
They felt appreciative.
Yes, they
felt
did.
like they owed you to. at
There
least
were a
listen
lot
to
of
you.
thank yous and
Okay.
a few, "Oh, that's sweet, thank yous."
Okay, awesome.
And wow, okay, yeah.
All right, cool. And those donuts, when they were like what, $50, $100? I mean, how much are these donuts?
About $36.30
For how many?
for 10, half a dozen.
Which is 60 donuts.
Okay.
60 donuts, right? So
Okay.
you're probably spending about $8. So them
Mhm.
$8 box of donuts allowed you to not only get the audience of a decision maker, but get them in the right state to where they would actually
Yes.
listen and
that was
hear what
important.
you were saying. And that was important.
Yeah,
Okay,
getting them in
so
the right state.
so they were good. You began to explain. What did you?
Yeah,
What were you saying
explain
to
the
them as far
event.
as the event?
I would say, "Hello." What did I say?
What would you say about the event?
I said, what was it?
You told them what kind of event. Like
Yes, I
life
told them what
insurance.
kind of event. Let's see, I'm trying to get the script the
Okay.
exact words that I said
All right.
because it was very natural.
It was natural. Yes.
What did I say? Good.
So we said you're coming with the donuts, so you
I'm
would
coming
listen
with
to us. And they
Yes.
said,
Oh, yeah. I said we're local realtors.
all right.
We're having an event
Okay.
on the 21st.
Okay.
We would like for all of your residents to know about it.
Okay.
What's the best way for us to do that?
Absolutely.
And I had to.
Let
Be
them
quiet
answer, right?
and let
you don't
them
want to
answer.
answer for
Yes.
them, right? You ask the question, and then you wait for them to respond. Because some of our habit is we ask the question, and then we start trying to give them
Yes.
options. Like, what's the
Yes.
best way for us to do that? And knocking on your doors and email. No, don't do that.
And I did that maybe a couple of times.
Okay.
I
But
did
you
that
but you
until
learned
I got,
from it.
Yes.
All right. And,
Repetition.
and you saw the effect, the different effect that you got from
Yes.
offering them a solution versus asking the question and just let them come up with their own.
Yes, and it took pressure off of me.
Absolutely.
I don't have to figure out the answers. Okay, doors knocking, cars.
Right.
They told me what the
Absolutely.
best way was.
Absolutely. Now there are instances where they don't give you certain ones, or they have a hard time, and then
Yeah. Then I have to say, what about email blasts?
Yes.
And they would think about it, and then they would tell me if that was a good idea or if it wasn't.
perfect. All right. So you're talking to these office managers, these assistant managers. You've gone to these complexes. You've given out these donuts.
Mhm.
All right. So now, as you look back over it all, it took you about how long? It had to take you all day to do this, like 4 or 5
About
hours.
2 hours?
So only 2 hours
Mhm.
to hit. And you went to how many complexes?
10.
10. All right. So we split the 20 in half.
Mm-hmm.
So you went to 10 different apartment complexes, spoke to 10 different people, passed out 10 boxes of donuts. What kind of feedback did you get? Like, did you get any results? Did you get anybody saying, yeah, you can market to our residents, or no, you can't market? Like, what did you get?
I got all of those.
Okay.
But mostly, yes, we like what you're doing. Call us back. Or we like what you're doing. Yes, we can do an email. So send us an email.
Okay.
bring back some flyers. We could hand them out with our packages.
Okay.
We can hand them out to our new residents. Just so we got 2 complexes that said that. I think 2 hard no's out of the 10.
Yep. So out of the 10 people you went to, only 20% said no.
Yes.
And 80% there was something that you could actually do with this particular complex.
Right.
I think there was one that mentioned that you could actually host an event at their complex.
Yes.
This event, you could host it.
Yes, one said that we could host it. Another said that we could have a table at one of their events when they have one in the future.
Absolutely.
So,
wow. All right. So on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate this experience from, coming up with the idea and the plan, executing the plan, and the results that you received from the plans on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being phenomenal, blew the roof off, to a 1 being, we definitely not going to do this again. How would you rate?
A 9.5.
9.5. And how do you feel about that?
I feel really good about that. It's like the work wasn't in vain, because it was work. I was sweating. I don't know if you noticed. I was sweating.
Yeah, but you got past it.
I kept sweating.
So were you scared?
No, it was just a lot of getting in and out, and then ooh.
So would you do it again?
Yes, I would definitely do it again.
All right, perfect. So what our next steps are is we're just gonna go through the cards. We're gonna assess based on what we received, like the complexes that said, you can host an event. The complexes that said send an email, we're gonna send the email out. Complexes that said bring back some more flyers, we're gonna go back and bring back those flyers. So now we're just gonna plan out executing these next steps as we prepare for the other 10 apartment complexes that need to be going, and ideally on the 21st, based on the kind of exposure that you get, we'll see if we have a goal of getting 25 people in the room, and we'll see where we are as far as achieving that.
Okay,
all right,
cool.
Well, good job, Margaret.
Thank you.
Margaret, so have you ever done anything like that before? What you did this morning? To that level?
Not as many. I did about 3, and I was by myself. I was extremely nervous, and
what kind of results did you get?
I was doing it for mail outs, and the apartments, it wasn't straightforward. The numbers didn't match up with like the resident. It wasn't straightforward. So I had to go into the apartment to kind of get like their addresses, and to kind of like pick the brain so they can tell me how. Yeah. And so it was like I wasn't being like straightforward with saying, hey, I'm trying to get you. So that made me nervous, and I didn't do it again.
You didn't do it again. And how long did it take you when you tried to do it the first time?
It took me about 40 minutes a complex.
So almost 3 hours to do 3 complexes.
Yeah,
and you did 10 in 2 hours.
Yeah, I went in and I was sitting down.
Yeah.
Like I was the resident.
Absolutely. So you was going in the back door, trying to go in the back door. So 3 hours, 3 apartment complexes the first go round. Yeah. So I'm assuming you didn't get the same level of results that you got this go round.
No, I didn't.
Okay. And then as far as your method, your message, like you feel like you went in there, had a strong message.
That was key. Yes.
All right. We had you came up with a good method of how you was going to deliver that message, right? You was clear on the particular results that you wanted, right? And then at that point, you just went in there and executed, and you got your 9.5. All right. Good job, Margaret.
Now a buddy helps.
A buddy?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll put that on the list next time. Make sure you have a buddy. All right. But I'm pretty sure that being armed with the right message, the right method, with the gifts, doing it by yourself, I'm pretty sure you've been just as phenomenal.
Okay.
Okay?